Finding inspiration can sometimes take some work and feel daunting, but with a few systems set in place, you can be sure that fresh ideas are never too far behind. This week, our registered dietitians will bring you tips and tricks on how to break out of a rut and feel inspired as you cook so many more meals at home than maybe what you've been used to. First, we'll talk through ways that you can use your own kitchen to break out of a rut, finding new flavors and new ways to use tools that you already have on hand. And second, we'll give you some fresh ideas on how to bring some color, texture, and flavor into your kitchen. Be sure to visit our website where you can find recipes for vinaigrettes, a white chicken chili, and other delicious and healthy dishes. One way I like to find inspiration is to scroll some favorite websites. We're going to be sharing a plethora of resources with you next week. But until then, consider where you are going to find inspiration these days. One that I love is called eatingwell.com. I like that you can go to this healthy recipes section and they have it split up into all these different categories. So whether I'm looking for something new in my cooking methods with fish and seafood, for a regional cuisine, or something that's heart healthy, I'm going to find an area with a collection of recipes to find just what I'm looking for.
All right, one way to kind of change a recipe is to make your own vinaigrette. So we are going to be reviewing that here today. First, you need olive oil, right? I just use a plain extra virgin olive oil, but if you've got something that's infused with a little flavor, that could bring even a different, flavor profile to that dish. Next up, you need a vinegar. Got plenty to choose from here. My favorite is just a basic red wine vinegar. I also love the apple cider vinegar, balsamic. This has been one of my favorites lately. It's a white balsamic with a bit of a lemon twist to it. Then you need an emulsifier, something to kind of help these solutions stay mixed. This is one of my favorite types of mustard. It's a really sharp honey mustard. Got a little kick to it. My most often used is basic Dijon, seedy, grainy, whole grain mustard. And honey works as well. Helps kind of keep that dressing, mixed and dispersed rather than just oil and vinegar that's going to run off of your food items. And next is flavor. There's all sorts of spice combinations, citrus, lemon, garlic. You could do ginger, black pepper. There's so many different ways that you could flavor a vinaigrette. So start to consider making your own with the supplies you have on hand with your pantry. And visit our website. We've got a sauce and vinaigrette guide posted on this week's materials. Another way to get some inspiration in the kitchen is to look at what tools that you have on hand that may or may not be used too often. These are the 5 that I pulled out as my sources of inspiration. My food processor does have a lot of miles put on it, but I often ask myself, could I use this in a different way? Have I used it for a soup or a black bean dip recently? Have I made pesto? Similarly, I've got the immersion blender. Typically, I use this for cream-based soups, like a cream of asparagus with just almond milk instead of heavy cream. But last week, I used it for a peanut sauce in a pad thai. This is a new purchase for me in the last, new being 2 years, but it's a silicone steamer. So this kind of forces me out of my daily, routine with meal prep. You can steam vegetables, even salmon, shrimp. You can cook quinoa in it. So it's one of those kind of versatile pieces that I'm excited to do a little more with. One of my favorite kitchen tools is the microplane. This is a rasp that's going to zest your citrus fruits like orange, lemon, and lime. You can also grate garlic into a paste. I'm going to be using that tonight. I'm going to make a shakshuka tonight. It can also grate fresh nutmeg and even ginger. And lastly, I've had this for about 12 years now, and I go through phases with it. It's a mandolin slicer. It does actually terrify me that I'm going to cut my finger off, but when you use it safely, it's a really great tool. I'll do marinated zucchini slices, saute those real quick, or do a cold cucumber salad. Might make my own sweet potato chips or even zucchini noodles with the kind of slicer settings. So look to what you have on hand and ask yourself if there are different ways that you could be using the items that are already in your kitchen.
So I've kind of been not as inspired lately, but what do I want to make? What sounds good? Something colorful, at least I know that. Got to make sure I'm getting my vegetables, keep that immunity up. So I thought about these colorful peppers I had that I'm chipping away at for snacks, but I knew I had some in the fridge. I knew I had some red onions still left over from another dish. Had some limes, always have some beans and corn in the pantry. So first I opened the cans and drained all of the juice off of the corn and the beans, and then saved half of the corn because I'm also gonna make a white chicken chili. Something like that is easy to make, and then we can eat it later, put it in small containers. Just some northern beans, some chicken stock. We'll have the recipe for you, some diced chilies. And then I had some green onion, and I thought I was gonna make a couple dishes, I never did. So I'll slice this up and put it on top after, maybe with some Greek yogurt. But I'm just trying to, work with what I've got and make sure I'm getting my nutrition. Excited to dice up some of those avocados that were sitting on my counter, put that in the bean salad when we're done as well. So I'll check back. So I realized I had a lot of leftover celery too. I just had forgotten to grab that from the refrigerator. So I cut up the bell peppers, the celery, got the beans, the corn, some red onions, so all that nice and colorful thrown together. And then for the dressing, I put some extra virgin olive oil, some lime juice, and then different types of salsas that I just kind of had in the refrigerator that I hadn't used up yet. And then some cumin again and some chili pepper. So here it is, all mixed and ready to go into the fridge. One thing I did want to point out too, I didn't put the avocado in yet. Once I add the avocado, it can get a little mushy, and then I find that I prefer the fresh avocado. So I'll dice that up and put it in once I'm ready to actually have some of the salad. I'll kind of add it in at the last minute. So for the white chicken chili, I've got it going now with my broth, my onion, and my northern beans. Also the chicken. So I have a lot of canned chicken in my pantry and I haven't used yet. So one great thing to do with it, make sure you rinse it really well. Kind of get the chunks out a little bit. Get that extra salt that typically is in a lot of canned goods. Then I'm going to add that to my soup. So we've got the corn, the white onion, the canned chicken, the chicken broth, and of course the northern beans, all mixed together in the crock pot ready to go. I'm going to add in some cumin, and I think this is great in any dish, especially kind of your Mexican fare. And then some chili as well, so kind of like taco seasoning basically. Mix all that up, and then I'm just gonna let it go right now on low for about 8 hours. It's early in the day, and I'll have some probably throughout the week for some quick and easy meals.